What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and help you guys better understand the price action for today. I'm also going to talk about the overall stock market and how this may affect Tesla going forward, as we do have some major updates from the Fed that just came out, and also the Ukraine situation. I'm also going to talk about the latest pieces of news affecting Tesla that could definitely affect the share price, and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk, has been tweeting about, as we do have some major updates from him and Jim Cramer. Now, before I say anything about Elon Musk, before I talk about what's going on with Tesla's share price, I do have to mention some very important things first. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to win up to $200,000, as Moomoo's giving away 200 grand for the new year. So if you want your chance, guys, please check out the offer. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So Tesla's currently down about 2.21% for the day. And even though it is dropping the way it is, it's actually quite similar to that of the entire market, because we're seeing red all over the place. Now, you guys have to remember, the market is going to be closed on Monday because of President's Day. So seeing red days like this is typical, right? So we saw AMC in the red, we saw AMD actually in the green. I think their earnings just came out. We saw Neo in the red, we saw Roblox in the red. The VIX, I think it was green for quite a bit of time. It ended up dropping a little bit, and the SPY was down just barely about 0.65%. So we saw a lot of red all over the place, and that's because of the fact that we do have kind of a response to what Bullard from the Fed ended up stating. And the thing about the market is the fact that when something happens, guys, typically the market has somewhat of a reaction in real time, but then we tend to have the big reaction really shown after 1 or 2 days. So the Fed's Bullard, he ended up stating that he wants a little bit more of a hawkish stance from the Fed, and he really wants interest rates to rise right now. Now, that's a little bit different from what the Fed is probably going to do, but that did play somewhat of a role. But the Fed also did something a little bit different, and that is this right here. They have approved rules that are basically going to be banning its officials from trading stocks, bonds, and also cryptocurrencies. So this is not going to be set until October, but that in turn, I mean, it does kind of, how should I say, address some corruption or maybe some sketchy things that have been going on, as we do want a Fed that is very nonpartisan and does not necessarily do anything else. Now, I do want to talk about some other big pieces of news. I want to talk about this right here. Basically, AP News basically revealed that Ukraine rebels evacuate civilians to Russia amid the crisis. So we are starting to see evacuations right over there. This also played a major role in the market kind of sinking the way it did. And it is looking a little bit more probable that we may see something very big happen. Now, I'm not trying to spread FUD. I'm not trying to make any promises, but considering the fact that there is so many, big headlines coming out, and there is a lot of news from NATO coming out about how there are 140,000 plus troops over there, and Russia does not look like it's de-escalating quite yet. This is kind of concerning, guys, and this does mean there may be an invasion. I would like to see how this plays out when the Olympics ends, but like I said, uh, how is this going to affect the market, I think, is the real thing a lot of people are trying to wonder. So the market right now is still a little bit more on the fearful side, as shown by the fear and greed index, and it has remained there for quite a bit of time. But it's not necessarily fear, it's ambiguity. It's the uncertainty in the market and the news. So for Tesla, for the SPY, what does this mean going forward? And the question is Tesla going to crash? And my answer is, we're probably going to see a bit of a drop if there is this invasion, but I believe we're going to quickly recover, and it's not necessarily going to be a quote unquote crash. Now, one of the big things about a potential invasion is that the first thing is you need to be prepared for that in case it happens. The second thing is, if it does end up happening, it's going to have a negative opportunity cost, right? And the negative opportunity cost is it's going to affect the price of energy in the United States. It's also going to be driving up CPI data and the prices of goods, because inflation is going to start going up a little bit more in the US. We are not entirely energy dependent. We too still depend on Russia and Canada to really get our oil, guys. So that in turn is going to maybe cause a big spike in the cost of oil, the cost of gas, and that is going to have a negative effect on our economy or the market, so to speak. So what I think is, look, let's just pretend that Russia does end up invading Ukraine. What is probably going to happen is we're going to drop a little bit. I'm not quite sure how far we're going to drop to, but the thing is, I don't see a massive crash. That's the difference. I see a big correction, but not a crash. I think the market's going to take a big hit for a couple of days. Tesla could go as low as the $800 range, maybe a little bit lower, but then we're going to have a very quick recovery right back right over here to this gap fill area. So I made a previous video about the fact that, look, the news is crazy. There are crazy things that happen, but I don't see a straight up market crash. I do see corrections coming, but not a massive crash. And that's because of the fact that it is election year, guys. There are other things going on. And on top of that, we also have this gap fill, right? So almost always when I announce gap fills, Tesla ends up filling them. So I told you guys the last time I told you guys this was a few days ago. I told you guys we saw a gap fill right here. It came on Valentine's Day, I believe, or like the day after Valentine's Day. So this gap fill was an indicator that Tesla was going to drop, even though this thing was at the 920s. We ended up dropping, and we did see this sell indicator from the super trend, and then we saw it end up dropping below the 30 EMA. So that was a very bearish indicator. So we ended up dropping really hard. Now look what I'm seeing. If I zoom into the chart, we're seeing another tiny gap right here. I'm not 100% sure if this would count. I do believe it does. There's a tiny gap between 918 and 920. So this is my theory. So I don't know exactly if or how this is going to play out because it depends on if Russia invades Ukraine. I don't know if they will or they won't. But as you guys know, we have to be prepared for it. So if they don't invade Ukraine, the market's most likely going to recover pretty fast and it's going to do a lot better. But if they do invade them, like I said, Tesla's probably going to drop, right? It's going to drop quite a bit with the market, but then we're going to have a fast recovery after that, in my opinion. And I do think we're still set to fill the gap right here, and we should be back in the $910 range within a limited period of time. So gaps for Tesla are typically filled within, I would say, a month, maybe a month and a half. So maybe we'll remain down for a couple of weeks, but we'll slowly start to get right back up, and we should fill the gap within I would say, a month or two, even if we do see an invasion. So I'm not trying to, how should I say, trivialize the effects it's going to have. It's definitely not good, guys. I really hate to see any people suffer, especially innocent people. But, but, and just because some crazy pieces of news come out, it doesn't guarantee the market's just going to crash extremely hard and never recover. It's going to recover. And this is a very sped up market. It's going to recover relatively fast, in my opinion, because remember something, the large majority of retail right now are loading up on puts. You guys have to remember that puts are so popular. That means a lot of people are shorting the market. Now, if it was that easy, you and I would be super, super, super rich. We'd be billionaires overnight. Is what I'm trying to say. And the thing is, what really ends up playing out is often the opposite of what people anticipate. So you have to be. Then this is the quote of the day. You need to be greedy when others are fearful. So like I said, guys, this thing might drop. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be fearful because I know this thing is going to recover and I see it recovering relatively quickly to fill that gap. Now, do I know how long it's going to take? I don't know, guys. It really depends on if Russia invades Ukraine. It may take a few weeks. It may take a month or two. It may take 2.5 months, but it doesn't matter, guys. That's a relatively short period of time. And I do see a very good dip buying opportunity right now for the future. Now, going into other big pieces of news for Tesla, guys, I'm very excited for the future because look, Tesla announced that it has produced 1 million next gen 4680 battery cells. Now, that's a very good piece of news in my opinion because of the fact that, look, they're improving their fundamentals, they're improving their numbers, and they're improving their production capabilities. Now, that alone is going to be what was accounted for in the factory in California. I can't wait till they have the new battery production plant coming out in Texas too, because that in turn is going to really, really ramp up their production, improve their numbers, and improve their business model entirely. Now, I want to talk about this right here, guys. This is something pretty significant. I want to talk about the fact that Ford's Mustang Mach-E beats Tesla's Model 3 as Consumer Reports top electric vehicle for 2022. So Consumer Reports is saying that the Ford Mach-E beats Tesla Model 3. Once again, guys, I'm not worried. I'm not scared because I'm going to be real with you guys. There was a time when I went to a mall and I saw a Lucid Air. I went inside and I loved the car. And just because I love Tesla, it doesn't mean I can't like other cars too. And for me, guys, I believe Teslas are amazing cars. They're amazing companies. They're absolutely crushing it. But you have to remember something Elon Musk has been preaching about. And that is, he doesn't want Tesla to just be number one in everything. He wants them to be absolutely awesome. But he talked about something very important if you pay attention to him. And he said the purpose of Tesla is to accelerate the development of technology, right? EV cars. It's not about them just being number one. He wants other companies to really, really improve too, because in turn, it's going to help the environment. It's going to help our world. It's going to help us transition to the next phase. So, yeah, he wants Tesla to do very, very well, but he's not necessarily against other companies getting into EVs. That's the entire purpose of Tesla. So, the Mach E, in my opinion, is a great car. And when you see news like this, guys, don't be scared. Don't be upset. Be excited. Be absolutely excited, because in economic terms, this is known as a monopolistic competition. Now, it doesn't mean what it may sound like. It doesn't mean that we're all monopolies. It means that we're having a competitive market where there are many, many different market makers that are setting the prices and competing against one another to improve their products. Because I want Ford to do well when it comes to their EV technology, because they're going to push Tesla to do even better. And I want Tesla to do better because it's going to push other companies as well. We're going to see better prices in the future. We're going to see more innovation, more technology. It's great news. I see it as great news. And just because Consumer Reports, chose one car over Tesla's Model 3, that's fine, guys. That's totally fine with me, because I believe they chose Tesla for 2020 and 2021, but that doesn't matter, guys. Maybe they have their own biases, or maybe it's because it's a great car. It does not matter to me, because it's just their own opinion. It's an opinion based statement. And at the end of the day, guys, I like competition. I like other competitors pushing Tesla to be even better than how great it actually is. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this right here. The guy we all know. Some people call him a clown, other people don't. He's known as Jim Cramer. He stated that I often wonder, Elon, how do you persevere in the face of this level of negativity from people? I was skeptical until I drove one. And basically, Elon Musk was the one that responded to what Charles Munger stated. And then Elon Musk responded now to Jim Cramer. And he said, product is greater than marketing. And I want you guys to let that sink in, because this is actually something huge that represents Tesla. Tesla has prioritized improving their business model, improving their products instead of just putting all this money into marketing. And think about how well that paid them off. Because at the end of the day, they're going to get free advertising from the media, whether they say good or bad things. They're also going to get a lot of advertising from Twitter because of Elon Musk. So you guys totally understand where we're going with this. That's the importance of this company, improving the product. And for them to improve the product to an even greater extent, one of the great mechanisms to really push that is competition from other great companies. So that's basically what I wanted to report in this video. Tesla has done next to nothing wrong fundamentally to cause it to drop. The entire market is taking these big hits. In fact, they had very similar trend-based indicators throughout the entire market. So for Tesla, like I said, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we do drop a little bit if there is an invasion. We're probably going to take a big hit for a few days, maybe a week or two, but then we're going to slowly start to recover. And then we should be back on our feet just ever so slowly before we start to fill this gap once again. So I don't anticipate a crash. I do see a big correction if we do see a big invasion, but we do, and we most likely will, see a very good recovery that's very steady and fast, because Tesla is not necessarily a dead cat in the water, guys. It's a monster that's waiting to explode, and it is not dead. I also want to let you guys know the last thing I kept on saying, and that is, you need to be greedy when others are fearful. That's what I have for this one, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Nothing in this video was financial advice, but I hope I brought some value into your guys' day and in your lives. I thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Please enjoy the weekend, and peace out.